First speed build of the year, and also probably one of my more embarrassing speed builds ever. The build is actually good, that's why I'm posting it. It's just the context of it that's a little bit embarrassing. Yesterday, I was going back through some old footage and some builds I had done in the past year, and I discovered one from March that I never actually posted on YouTube. Okay, fine, that's already a little bit embarrassing. The real embarrassing part is that this build is from the early access of Businesses and Hobbies. Like the weird version of the game that has no gallery access, it has the annoying watermark, and I think that's why I didn't post the speed build, because I was kind of frustrated by the existence of the watermark. And also I built so much with Businesses and Hobbies when it first came out that I just had 1,000,001 videos to post. So this one kind of like fell through the cracks. But this is a candy bookstore combo that I built in Nordhaven. I guess in hindsight, maybe a weird combination, but I was just excited about all the new stuff, so I wanted to use it. And basically you would come here, you could buy some candy, you could take a writing class, you could read books. So functionally in game, it's not that weird. But let's just get into the building portion of the video and I'll show you what I made. But as you can see, the footage does have that watermark on the screen, so I really apologize. I know it's kind of annoying, but I'm hoping that as we get more into the video, we'll get more used to it and it won't feel as obvious anymore. At least I keep trying to tell myself that. That's actually like the main reason I didn't prioritize posting this back then. I feel like the watermark is fine, just moderately annoying on regular footage, but when you speed it up, it gets worse. So I kind of tried to avoid back in the day posting speed builds from the early access period. I would post like real-time build videos instead, but I have since left the EA Creator Network, so we aren't gonna get early access like this. I'm never gonna have CFE access like this again, so this is kind of a relic. This is like the last time this will ever happen to us on this channel. But basically, I've kind of started out here by trying to build the shell of what is supposed to look like multiple buildings put together. I was kind of trying to channel the style of the houses and the buildings in the background of this lot, but I did something a little bit funky with it because we have these two older buildings on either side, and then there's like a really modern connection between them, which I don't normally do, but I kind of liked the idea of having a big like solid glass segment of the building. I was kind of picturing these as being really old buildings that had been renovated. So this is like that modern segment in the middle. This is the renovated portion. So the whole downstairs and like most of the left side of this space is going to be the public area. Like that's the actual store. And then upstairs on the right side, there's going to be a small-ish apartment building for the Sims who live here because obviously it's a small business. I don't know if it's the most realistic layout of these buildings. Like it probably wouldn't be organized in this way in real life, but sometimes in the Sims you just got to do what works. So that's what I've done here. Main goals for this are that I wanted to have kind of like a kitchen area where we could sell the candy and like coffee and drinks and stuff. I also wanted to have a classroom so that we could teach classes. And I wanted it to be mostly a writing classroom area, but I put a second one upstairs that I put some chess tables around. I was really kind of experimenting with this stuff at this point because this pack was very new. I recorded this on March 2nd, but Businesses and Hobbies released on March 6th. So I didn't really know that much about the pack yet. I had done loads of early access testing, but we didn't know like how it would interact with other packs really. So I was still testing out like, can I do a chess class? Like, could you do like a logic classroom and have chess tables in front of it? So there was a lot of experimenting happening here too, but we'll kind of get into that more later in the video. I just right now I'm doing the floor plan. So you saw me try to put in the layout of the apartment. I didn't actually furnish it, but I was just building walls and trying to see how it fit. I built a bathroom just to see if the stalls fit, you know? All of this is just me being like, will this fit right here? I hope so. Oh, but also because this build was done in early access, I didn't have any other packs. I only had the base game and Businesses and Hobbies, and there's also none of the early purchase content or anything in here. So if you don't have very many packs and you only have Businesses and Hobbies, you can download this one and it will work perfectly fine. You won't be missing any items or anything like that, which is good because I posted a video yesterday with like 1,000,000 packs in it. It also had like 1,000,000 items in it. So that's why. If you missed it yesterday, I posted a video where I tried to build a house that had 2,026 items in it in honor of the new year, and it was a mistake. It took me way too long and it doesn't even look good. I was like resorting to putting mold everywhere to fill in extra items, but anyway. At this point, I decided just now that I needed more space to have more stuff for the kitchen, so I built an extra like additional kitchen on the side and I put the cupcake machine in there. I feel like this is also from the era where we just had recently gotten a huge swatch update in February, so the cupcake machine used to have only 3 swatches, all bad, but me of the past was very excited about the new cupcake machine swatches, so I wanted to use the pink one in here. I also made the kitchen solidly glass all the way around. I thought it was kind of a cool concept, almost as like an advertisement for the business, because people that are walking by on the street will see them cooking in there and maybe like want to come in and buy something. They do that at Disney a lot. Like they have, why am I referencing Disney World right now? I'm from Orlando, okay? But like in Magic Kingdom on the main street when you first enter the park, they've got like a candy store, confectionery place. And in there, they've got these big glass windows so you can see them like dipping the candy apples and all of that. So that's sort of the kind of thing I was picturing with the glass kitchen. And then I wanted to have a lofted upstairs in that big glass section. So I put the stairs back there and you can see it's got the lofted space. And that upper area is one of the classrooms on the loft. I always feel kind of silly trying to explain stuff like that at this point of a video where I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be the classroom. But like there's nothing in it right now, so you can't even visualize it yet. I should just wait and talk about it later. The other thing that I loved about this build was using the stamped concrete, the new stuff from this pack, because I think it's so pretty. I like to do kind of a fancy concrete in a community lot sometimes, but the stamped one is so good. It's like perfect for a space like this because it's kind of got that like industrial vibe, but it's like cutesy and pretty because it's stamped with little floral texture. Now that the pack has been out for a while, I feel like I can safely say I think Businesses and Hobbies is my favorite expansion pack for The Sims 4, which is a bold claim because it used to always be Seasons, and Seasons is still way up there, but I love being able to run a business and live on the same lot at the same time. Like that kind of multifunctional lot is what I've wanted for this game for years and years. So it's just like the perfect pack for me. I love the build stuff. I love the colors like this. I love Businesses and Hobbies. And I even knew it back then. Like when the pack first came out, I feel kind of, I guess like wary of calling it my favorite pack when it's new, because you do kind of get a little bit swayed by things being new, I think. And like when I was building this, for example, I hadn't actually used any of the other packs with Businesses and Hobbies yet because I didn't have access to them. So how can you say it's your favorite pack but you've barely played it? So I don't like to make claims like that early on in a pack's life, but now that it's been a few months, I really, really love Businesses and Hobbies. One thing I did not love about this build was that I really wanted to use all these different colors, right? I wanted to have like 3 different color buildings, but the yellow and green ones have a different stone color on the roof detail. Like the yellow and green is more of a white color and the pink one is like a beige. So I was getting so mad. I wanted to use the same stone everywhere, but you can't do that here. Like it doesn't work. It would just totally not match. But then instead, now it doesn't match because I've got like the yellow beigey stone instead. I know I'm definitely overthinking that, but I was really frustrated by it as I was building. That was like a main concern for me. That's why I've spent so long like doing it over and over and over again. But also the lighting on this lot is so bad. It's like constantly in shade. You can't even tell the colors are different anyway. So it really doesn't matter that much. This is me going through and just putting all the windows in. I was trying to use a few different kinds of windows and doors and like different colors of them. So I've got some blue windows on the green section. I put the purple door on the yellow section. I was just trying to have more variety, I guess. And I don't know if you can really tell, but on that green section, there's like a front door to it, to a very small hallway. That's because I wanted to have exterior access to the apartment so they don't have to like go through their business to get into their house. So they've got a front door just into a staircase that goes right up to the apartment, and then the rest of it is just bathroom down there. And then as far as landscaping goes, I tried to use a combination of like hedge fences. We've got like some green grass patches on here. Obviously, mostly it's concrete because we're like in the middle of the city, but I tried to make it look natural and like fill it in nicely with the stuff that we had access to in the debug from this pack. I also discovered that that fence from the base game is like the exact same color and texture as the stone I was using on the walls. So it worked out really nicely. It looked like it was made to go there. So I tried to use that to go around all of the like open grass sections so it kind of like blended in a little bit better. I also used the little book sign outside from Businesses and Hobbies. I wish, this is like me kind of pushing it now, I guess, but I love all the signs that we got from this pack, and they gave us loads of them. Like we've got signs in solid white, solid black, and then also some in color, but I kind of wish that I could change the color of the signs individually. Like we have that super cute book sign, but it's blue. I kind of wish it was like pink instead for this build. But with how The Sims 4 is, we're lucky to even have a sign in the first place, so I shouldn't complain too much. It's also never gonna get changed. It's been a long time. Like, this pack is done at this point. But I guess while I'm just doing some of the landscaping, now might be a good time for a little life update, because I tend to do those in my speed build videos. I took about a week off over Christmas, and I posted a lot less than I normally do, so I really apologize. I've never really done that before, like taken proper time off and not uploaded, so I felt like a lot of anxiety about it, which I know is dumb, and I also always feel bad when I like ditch you guys and don't post. But I think I really needed to be like not online for a few days, and there's just been so much going on that I didn't have enough time to properly pre-record like I normally would have. Like my dad had surgery 2 days before Christmas. I don't know why he booked it then. He got a hip replacement done, which he really needed and has been very good. I mean, he's been in a lot of pain still, but he needed the hip replacement, so it's good that it happened. But like 2 days before Christmas, oh my God. It made for a very interesting Christmas, I think. Obviously, he's been in a lot of pain and stuff, and the recovery process is very miserable, but once he gets through this, he'll be in a much better spot, so that'll be good. But yeah, over Christmas, I kind of just did a lot of sewing, did a lot of reading, saw my parents a bunch, you know, nothing too exciting. And then I had a moment a couple days ago where I thought I had appendicitis. Turns out I did not have appendicitis. It was kidney stones again, but it was on the other side, so I was like, it's my appendix, I'm going to die. I didn't. I'm good. I'm still here. But I have a lot of health anxiety, which I think makes sense. When you grow up with a dad who has cancer, it does affect you. It does get to you. So I tend to overthink and overreact to most things, not just health things, but health things especially. But I'm good. I'm okay. It was unpleasant though. So it wasn't like the best few days off, but I did need them, and also I couldn't have posted anyway, probably in that state. So Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, everybody. This is the second time I've had kidney stones, and last time it was also close to Christmas. It was like December 20th or something. I went to the ER last time for that. That was horrible. It was worse last time. I think maybe it's like stress induced, or at least that's playing a role in it for me. I don't know. This is a new experience. Only happened to me twice. My grandma has always had kidney stone problems. She had surgery for it last month, so hopefully that's not in my future. But I think maybe it's also a little bit genetic then. I don't know. Anyway, I guess that's my update from my break over Christmas. That's what I've been up to. What about you? Did you do anything fun over Christmas? Did you bake anything good? Did you eat anything good? Did you have a nice New Year's Eve? I don't know. I streamed on New Year's Eve, so I had a great time. I streamed a villager hunt in Animal Crossing on New Year's Eve, and it actually went well this time. I found the villager that I wanted, so that worked out really well. I was kind of scared that I wouldn't find anybody and we'd have to like end the year with a just give up, autofill the plot situation, but that did not happen to us, thankfully. But anyway, back to the build. I'm working on the kitchen part right now, and this I was kind of excited about because I did this big, long, open shelf above the counter, and I tried to put a bunch of clutter things up there that made sense for the cafe part. Like I used a teapot, I put some cups and bowls, I got some like books on display. I also put 3 signs up there. There's a candy one, a coffee one, and a book one, because that's kind of like what this business is. It's candy, coffee, and books. And then of course we have the little counter where you can buy coffee and pastries, and then I have the open shelf so that you can sell your candy in there. You can also sell the cupcakes or whatever your sim wants to cook, you can put for sale inside of that big shelf thing. You can see also I put a lot of bookshelves around and like some clutter by it. We have some pink tile as an accent with some pretty pink lights above it as well. I totally forgot about that part, but there's like it's like a cow plant decal for the wall. It's like a no cow plant sign. I put that over the door that goes into the kitchen to try and make it look like it's an employee only sign. I don't know. And now we're going over to the side. This wooden floor area, this section is going to be one of the classrooms, or at least that's what I was trying to do. But I had a really hard time trying to figure out how I wanted to lay it out because I knew I wanted to have computers and I wanted to have a lot of them, but it's not very big in here. It's actually kind of a small space. And then I was thinking, should I lay it out with laptops so it kind of looks like these people brought their own computer and they've just like set up on the table, or should I have matchy computers everywhere? So I just kept changing my mind, but I think in the end there's maybe 4 computer spaces in front of the thingy. I also had a sim here so I could keep checking what I needed for the classes because it's very confusing. Sometimes you need to have like 4 computers. Maybe it's like 2 woodworking tables. They're all different, the class requirements. So it's very confusing to build without having an actual sim there to check, especially at this point for me, because I had barely done any of this yet. So I really didn't know what I was doing. So there was a lot of testing. I also put some couches and coffee tables in a few places. And then we're gonna go back through and we're gonna add some more tables, like proper tables to sit in. Because I've noticed that when you use the tables, the Sims love to sit at them and read. They'll get a book and go sit down. So it's nice to have those. But yeah, we're still doing the like testing to figure out how many tables we can put. At first I wanted to use the bar height tables from Businesses and Hobbies, but they just didn't work. The size was a little bit off. So I used regular base game tables and I put 2 3-wide ones together so it looks like one big table, and I got a few laptops in there. I also put a little journal on one so it looked like maybe they were writing physically on paper. There's a couch over there to read on, and I think technically you probably could teach a bunch of different classes here. I built it sort of envisioning it being a place for writing classes, but I feel like you could probably teach programming and stuff from this too, because a lot of them just need a computer. So I feel like this would be fine for a lot of different things. It's kind of like a nice flex space. But those are the tables that I was just trying to tell you about. We have a few different ones around in there. I liked the one underneath the staircase a lot. I thought it looked really cute. And then I just got some plants and a few more laptops. I wanted to not put laptops everywhere, so there was still space for you to eat and like space for you to bring your own computer if you wanted to with your sim. I don't know why I don't really do that. I don't know why I said that. You could do that, but I never bring my computer. Like when I have my sim go somewhere, if there's gonna be a computer there, or even like if there isn't one there, I'll buy one in build mode and put it there on the lot, because I don't like to bring stuff that I could risk losing places. Like some of these laptops are 4,000 simoleons. I'm not bringing that out in public and then leaving it behind by accident. No, I'll use the ones provided to me. I liked that part in the corner too. I have kind of like this wall of counter height tables. They're literally counters, not tables. I don't know why I said counter height tables, but I've got a wall of counters in the back. And then I found that the bookshelf is like the exact same height, at least the bottom of it is. So it kind of looks like they're built in together. It's the same wood color. I was really excited about that. I'm just adding loads more extra plants in here and kind of trying to fill in the rest of the space. We'll eventually add some more artwork and stuff on the walls too, but for the most part, I was just really, really going for the plants. I was really excited about the plants. I also love that floral swatch. There's a bunch of floral things from Businesses and Hobbies. They've got the same pattern on like chairs and the dresser and a wallpaper, but I used that all over because that was kind of like the color scheme inspo for the build. It's like the exact right color scheme, so I put it around in a lot of places. And then I put one of those tall like for sale shelf items in the corner, and I put a few books on it. I think those might be the skill books from Businesses and Hobbies, but I also added a bunch of random ones. These are kind of neat because you can actually buy these technically in game. And also, if you haven't seen these before, these are just in debug. These are base game debug, these books that I'm using. It kind of looks like a stack of books with a book on display on top. It's very much what you might see in a bookstore in real life. So I like to use those when I'm building libraries and then buildings like this where it kind of has a bookstore energy. But again, that's just debug. So everybody has that in the base game debug. You have access to that. Oh, I don't like these. I used the motivational posters from debug as well, apparently. Yeah, I don't really like how those look. I don't like the black on them. I don't think it's very cute. There's not a lot of black in this building, so in hindsight, I probably wouldn't use that again, but oh well, it's already there. I've got like some brick accent walls. I was putting some signage for like where the bathrooms are in here too. It's kind of funny because I know that these signs were super new when I did this. They came out in the update right before the pack came out, so I was very excited about them, and I was using like the upstairs has a toilet sign and like putting 3 of them together. I never use those anymore on the wall. I use those signs sometimes on the door. I'll like move objects, place it on the door, but I don't really put them on the wall very much, and I mostly only use the toilet one. So this is kind of inspiring me to try again with it because it does actually look kind of good using them, and it makes it look more like a community space as well. Plus it has maybe like more of a black accent color, so maybe it helps match the picture that I used. I'm just grasping at straws now, aren't I? I'm doing my best to try and make it make sense. The bathroom is pretty small. I did use one more of those signs. There's like a hand wash one, so I put that on the door to remind them to wash their hands. I totally forgot that existed too, so I should try to use that again more often as well. I think that would be kind of fun. I think it makes sense to have the toilet sign on the front of the door and then the hand wash one on the back, right? But then going upstairs, this is the second classroom area, and this is the one where I really wanted to have a logic class space because when I built this, I hadn't done any logic classes yet, and actually, I don't think I've done one since. So this is the only logic class I've ever built, but I wanted to try to have some tables and also some chess tables, and this was really hard for me to figure out the layout of. It's just such a long and skinny space, so it's hard to know where to put things and like what kind of tables to use and how it's all gonna work. All I knew kind of going into this is that I didn't want it to be artwork. Like I didn't want to have any art class stuff because I did that loads with Businesses and Hobbies. That was like the main thing I was using the pack for. So I was trying to use it for other skills that I hadn't done yet when I built this. It would be super cute to have like a painting class up here or something, but I just didn't want to do that. I struggled a lot with what texture of the chess table to use because I don't really like a lot of the chess table swatches, but I just used the basic one that's got the blue at the bottom. It's kind of metal, so I don't know if I like it too much, but I do think that it works because it kind of fits the color scheme. There's blue inside of the floral pattern, so it somehow fits. We also have a little living area, kind of like couch space over there, and I'm pretty sure that I put toys next to the chair. If I remember correctly, we'll have to see what happens. I kind of like skimmed through the speed build before I started recording, but I didn't watch the whole thing back. So I'm kind of reacting to it right now. I'm like thinking back to what I built, and I'm pretty sure I put some toys up there. I also used that base game mural. That's just a wall decal, and it's like 5 simoleons, but it's enormous, and I thought it looked really cool on that big open wall. There's a couple of swatches to it. I think one of them kind of looks like a playground swatch, so it works for a couple of spaces, but it is only, I think, 3 swatches. And obviously it's very big, so it's one of those like use in very specific circumstances kind of items. But I think that's most of this upstairs space done. I was kind of just going back through and adding in clutter now. I realized that I forgot to ever put clutter inside of the kitchen, so I went back downstairs to properly furnish that. I do that sometimes with kitchens where I'll like put all the stuff in the kitchen. I'll put like the fridge and the stove and the counters and then just stop, because in my mind I'm just seeing if it fits well, and then I'm gonna come back to it later. But then it just looks half done for like most of the video as we just experienced. But we're switching gears real quick and we're gonna finish doing the apartment now. It's a very small apartment. It's 2 bedrooms, but the living space is really teeny tiny. They also have kind of that weird downstairs hallway, but I loved doing that. I just put some bookshelves and like a couch in there. We have a lot of bright colors in this apartment that I really enjoyed using too. And of course I used that pretty wallpaper with the floral colors because it's like pink, blue, and yellow. It's like my favorite colors. It works perfectly. So I used that as like a big accent wall there, but otherwise I didn't do too much else because it's a really tiny space. It's hard to fit things in there. This long, weird shaped, skinny room is gonna have a kitchen. There's gonna be a tiny dining table and also a very tiny living room space with a couch and a TV. I felt a little bit bad about how small the apartment was, but also the Sims who are in here, they have so much extra space on this lot that they can visit. Obviously it's not private because it's not part of their house, but they have the whole business area they can use. They've got computers everywhere and bookshelves everywhere, so it isn't like they have a lack of items. They've got a lack of privacy, I guess is a better way of looking at it. Oh, also these cabinets were new at the time. It's like the base game cabinet, but they added new swatches to it to match the things from Businesses and Hobbies. I still to this day hate that upper cabinet. The stone upper cabinet is no good. I'm okay with the bottom cabinet being stone, but I kind of wish the upper cabinet was wood to match the like wood countertop or something. But I used it anyway in here just because it was new. I think today I would probably use a different upper cabinet, like maybe one of the other base game swatches in like solid white or something instead, and kind of do like a 2-tone cabinetry thing, but that's not what I did here. I was biased toward the new stuff. Oh my god, I forgot that chandelier came in pink. What? I haven't used that ever since, I don't think. I knew it came in like gold and stuff. I didn't know it came in pink. Oh, I need to use that again in a build. We should make a whole house inspired by the pink chandelier. Not actually, but like we should make a house where we can try to fit that in because that's cool. I like that. And then in the bedrooms, there's one primary bedroom and then one shared bedroom for some kids. I think there's 2 twin beds in the other bedroom. They're really small bedrooms. They're not like the most fancy thing ever, but I did get to use the cute new rugs and my favorite bed, which is the Businesses and Hobbies one. I've got like a brick accent wall and some nice curtains and stuff. I love this tall, skinny dresser or like wardrobe that we got in this pack also. It works so well. There's a cute mirror that's got like lights around it that I use. And then I was trying to put the piano because I wanted to use it because it was new, but I don't like the swatches. The piano always has a brown seat, and I just don't think that brown worked in this space. Also, it looks like the video ended, so I must not have recorded the rest of it, which is really annoying of me, but that's okay because I did put it on the gallery so we can tour the full thing. As a reminder, we're on this Fisher's Horizon lot, at least I think we are, in Nordhaven. There's a couple of wide 30 by 20 lots, and when I say wide, I mean like the front is over here instead of normally it's over here. Maybe I should say horizontal instead of wide. Oh. Cool. I love The Sims 4, my favorite game. It has no problems. Oh my god. Okay, let's see if we can find the building. Let's see what we can search for to find it. We know that it is 30 by 20, and then I might try and search small business. Everybody cross your fingers that it works. Nope. Okay. I'm gonna search the word book next. I find the search feature on the gallery really impossible. It might be easier to scroll. Oh, you know what I could do? I probably hashtagged it small business. Wait, any day now. It'd be super cool if it would load. See, all of these are old. I don't know why it's suddenly showing me old builds as if they're new, but they're like at the top filtered by newest. When I find it, I'm gonna re-upload it for you because this is unbearable. terrible. This is a nightmare. It's right there. It's called Nordhaven Book Cafe. That wasn't hard to find at all. Okay, well, I'm gonna re-upload it. And I'm gonna put hashtag small business this time as well. I think it re-uploaded. I actually can't tell. Yeah, it did. Okay, good. Well, this is what it looks like on the outside when you first load into it. There's a couple of things that I added post finishing the speed build, so we can look at those things first. This is an open and close sign, so when you're playing here, you can click on this to open the business and then close it again. I also filled in some landscaping over here. We have a long bike rack so you can park your bikes. I've got some trees and tree cages, a couple more like colorful flowers around the outside. And I tried to use a few different planter box colors so that they all look like separate houses. In here, this is like a little outdoor garden space so that you can sit and read. I used the tree with lights. This is also businesses and hobbies, and I never use this thing. I need to use it more. And we have a telescope. And then this thing, this is like a sales table, so you can run a sale and like sell things on it. There's a few of these in a bunch of different packs. Like we've got one from Eco Lifestyle, there's stuff from Home Chef Hustle, but they all kind of work the same. You could sell pretty much anything on there. You could sell collectibles, you could sell, I think you can sell food even on that. It's just different because you have to actually tend the table to run the sale. And then when you come inside, here's like a top-down overview of the floor plan. This is like the main space for everybody. You can check in and pay at this ticket kiosk right here. I've got a couple of different bike parts on the wall on display. We have the kitchen over this way. There's a candy maker out, and then we've got lots of like decor stuff. In here is the actual kitchen. I left it pretty blank on purpose because I realized there actually isn't that much counter space. And I know from experience when you run a business like this, they cook so much stuff. So I wanted to make sure the employees only could access this space. I wanted to make sure this part was employee only, and I wanted to have at least a couple counters that were open for them to leave cooked materials on. Over here, this is the first classroom. So there's a few computers and like some seating. I put like some postcards on display, more seating, more computers. And then we have a bathroom right here with just 3 toilet stalls in it. Upstairs on this half, yeah, here are the toys I was talking about. We've got like a little living area, another small classroom, and then we also have these chess tables. I kind of wanted to pretend that the table here was for the classroom, but actually anything within, if you see like this line, anything within that line functions as part of the classroom. So even though they're like off to the side, you could do a chess class up here and it still works fine. That's what this weird line is. You don't see that in live mode. It's only visible in build mode. It's kind of like a guide for you to see what will be affected by your class. And then over here, this is like the door to get into the apartment space. So they've got their front door right here. Where did I put the mailbox? I have this memory of having a hard time. There we go. Yeah, I put it in kind of a weird spot, the mailbox, because there was not enough wall space over here, but they've got like a little front door, and I set this as residential. This is all public space. Then we've got an employee only space too over here. And then you go upstairs. This obviously is also all residential, but here's kind of a layout of it. There is an easel. We also have an extra computer. I put a little pink and blue rose on their table. They've got their TV room. They've got a pretty big kitchen and also lots of counter space, so you can hopefully make lots of candy. This is one of those like secret raccoon paintings, so I use that. That's in debug as well. I need to use more of those special paintings because Trashly has some really good ones, and I just don't really use them very much. There is a small bathroom upstairs for your Sims to use if they live here, and then we have the finished product of the primary bedroom. They've got another computer. There's like a million computers on this lot, but it's nice to have extra. And then over here, this is the kids' room. It's just kind of like a pink and blue color scheme. I tried to put some toys and things for them to use. We also have the Trashly raccoon toy, and this is like a Trashly picture. I put that on there too. But that's the finished product. That's the whole build. I need to place this one down in my saves more so I could come visit it because I love the idea of this place. If you wanted to use it for gameplay as like a spot for you to visit, it does take an extra bit of setup because right now it's just a residential lot. But if I were you, I would click this create new household to move in button or like get a sim off the gallery. If you want to really speed things along, wait, I love the coat. I like your rain jacket. But if you want to really speed things along, I would literally just randomize a sim. This is Sylvia Paris. Klepto, no. I'll give you real traits. You can be like ambitious, maybe a bookworm, and how about a foodie? And you can do the free real estate cheat. It literally is just free real estate space on, and you can move anywhere with any budget. Oh, weather is unpleasant. But then once you have a sim, you can register your small business. Maybe I'll call it like Nordhaven Candy and Books. I'll put a candy icon. I'll put on browse and buy items, probably attend classes and lectures, maybe read. We can put write, and maybe just eat, honestly. You can increase the entrance fee if you want to. change target customers if you want to, but this is kind of like baseline, all you need to do. And then you can come visit this place if you want to. I would also probably, and it's a little bit more annoying, I would probably also cheat the randomized Sims skills. You can use mods for this or like Google it to copy and paste the cheat. But for example, the writing skill cheat is stats.set_skill_level space major_writing and then a number. I'm gonna put 8. And that way she'll have a high enough skill to teach classes here. So you could like set a writing skill, logic skill. You might want to try and meet some Sims so you can hire some more people, or like make a bigger family so you can hire more Sims and set jobs and stuff. But you don't have to go that extreme. With just this much, you should be okay to come visit. That's like the only downside to small businesses. They're like super fun to build and super fun to play in, but they're not so good to like share to the gallery because you have to do all of this part yourself. I can't like upload the business to the gallery. I can just upload the build and then you're on your own. But hopefully that makes sense and hopefully it was helpful. I think on that note, I'm gonna wrap this video up right here. I keep saying this in all my videos this week, but Happy New Year. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. I've got a couple builds from 2024 still that I haven't posted. I don't think I ever will, but this isn't the only old build that I have. I think it's just the best old build that I have. And that's why I still posted it. If I waited any longer, I would have forgotten about it. So I think it was good that we posted it now. This was like our last chance, I think.